welcome to the next episode. We're getting ready to record. So I have Denali Veda here. She's a quantum healer and an enlightened
life coach.
Perfect. And
intuitive empath.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
You are too, though. That's what I try to teach people. We really all can be that and are that. You just have to awaken it.
Yeah.
And realize your own power.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So this episode, I'm humbled, I'm grateful, I'm excited. It's going to be really powerful. A lot of really good energy. She's a goddess. So.
Oh, that's coming from a goddess. Thank you.
So what are you looking forward to the most?
With our discussion, these are all my favorite topics. So I don't know if I could pick one. Just self-love and awakening. It's hard to pick. They're all so important and special and just passionate about these topics and wanting to give them and share these things with everyone as much as I can.
Yeah, and just guide others to awaken to their own power. Yes. And collectively, that's how we glow. Okay. So, all right, hey guys. So welcome to the next episode of the Glow Collective. So I have Denali here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Very excited, humbled.
I'm humbled to be here.
So to start off, we like some centering and grounding. So I asked Denali to lead us in a short centering exercise.
Meditation. Yes. Okay, yes. This is part of what I do. So go ahead and wherever you are this time, get in a comfortable position. Hopefully you're not driving. It's okay, don't close your eyes if you're driving. And want to get into our heart space. I'm going to start with some deep cleansing breaths. It's all connected to the breath, our states of consciousness. So breathe in deeply. Hold that breath and exhale through your mouth. Like the wind, blow it all away. Let go of all of your worries. Let go of your stress. And let go of all that does not serve you. And continue to breathe in healing, golden light into your being, into your essence. And feel its essence within. And continue breathing out the worries and the stress and the blues away. And now, in a moment, I want you to imagine a waterfall in the distance. You are called to this waterfall. Your soul desires to be in this healing waterfall. So now imagine yourself immersed in this healing waterfall that's cleansing your mind and your body and your soul now. You can feel the cleansing water purifying and re-energizing you. It is so refreshing and calming. You are in a safe and sacred place, surrounded in nature, drinking in this beautiful place of serenity, enjoying this peaceful little place of heaven, bringing more peace and balance and light into your mind and your body and your soul. And now that you have been cleansed and are so relaxed. Go now and carry this feeling of peace and tranquility wherever you may be. And thank you, and be blessed. Okay. Tried to do as short as I can do. I'm not used to doing really short ones there, but
yeah, no, that was wonderful. I feel very relaxed and just a quick little energetic reset.
Yes, and I have a 10-minute one that I have on my YouTube actually, where we go to the waterfall. That's a great one to start your day with and center with.
So we'll have these linked up on the show notes, but what's your YouTube for our listeners tonight?
Denali Mind, Body, Soul is my YouTube and my website and my Facebook, everything.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have that linked up. So Denali Mind, Body, Soul, and Denali is Denali.
Correct.
So, all right. All right, guys. So this is going to be an incredible episode. Denali's just been through a lot in her life, and it's come to a point where she's walking the path and guiding others. And why don't you start off by just sharing a little bit about your journey to where you are now?
Yes, well, yeah, I've come a long way, I would say. I've had, some chapters that are not, our best chapters. We have good and bad chapters in our life. Growing up, my childhood was very rough. I came from a broken home. There's drinking and drugs with my parents and then step-parents, and I was exposed to a lot of things that children shouldn't see and be around. And so what I know now as an adult is I was tested as a young age, and all these things that we go through are trials or tests. And it was making me stronger, and as a child I wasn't that strong, and it was very hard. And I even dealt with suicidal tendencies at a young age. And it was something that I even, went ahead and attempted by, I had these voices in my head that were telling me I wasn't good enough, telling me nobody loved me, telling me I was a burden in life. Once my mother remarried, I was neglected. I was no longer important. She had her new husband and new children, and so there was a lot of turmoil and change, and my life was turned upside down in a short amount of time, and I didn't know how to deal with it or cope with these things. No one taught me, coping mechanisms. Many people aren't, even into adulthood, still not knowing some healthy, ways to deal with our problems. But really, one of the pivotal things in my childhood was listening to these voices telling me these awful things and believing it.
Right.
And I went and took a bottle of aspirin, and immediately, almost, a few minutes after, I heard another voice in my head telling me, go tell your mom what you did. You shouldn't have done that. Go tell your mom. And I listened to that voice, and I went and told my mother, and I was ashamed of what I did. I didn't tell her, I did it on purpose. So I ended up telling her that I took too many pills on accident. And I remember going to the doctor telling, him the same thing, and he's like, well, you probably just won't have a headache for a long time, because luckily that was all that I could find. I make light of it now, even though suicide's a very serious thing.
Absolutely. And
I can make light of it now that, I've been through it and overcame it, and see, how, and suicide is such a, a touchy subject, and we've had so many just in the past year of people that have been committing suicide. But what I want people to know is there's a story that I like to, remind people of the two wolves. It's a Native American story. And the story goes, we have a battle between two wolves that is going on within us. And one wolf represents love and positivity and hope and these positive aspects. And then the other wolf is there, and then it's hate and greed and depression, or, just the negative side, sort of the bad wolf, you'd say. And so we want to know who wins the battle, right? So who's going to win the battle is, they say, the one that you feed. Or you could say the voice that you listen to. So luckily I was, smart enough at that time to start listening more and more as it went on to the good wolf or the good voice, which is truly our higher self. And our higher self is also called the soul. So, for people not familiar with that. But that was just the beginning of one of my trials. It was battles of depression my whole life, not feeling good enough. My father was an Italian Catholic military man.
Wow.
Very, very hard on me. Nothing was ever good enough. It was just, no matter how hard I tried, I never felt I was enough. And even into adulthood, I carried that programming.
Oh, absolutely.
Carried that negative programming that I'm not going to be good enough for anyone. Am I worthy to be here? Am I worthy of, so many things? And it was really, I had epiphanies after going through Lyme disease. It was another big trial that I went through. And that was my huge spiritual awakening time. And discovering my path, my mission, and that's what really led me to be a healer, holistic healer and teacher, and help people out of their dark night of the soul, help people out of this, just hopeless place. And I went from a life of looking back that I was just trying to survive.
Absolutely.
And now, the past 5-6 years, I feel I'm thriving. And, it is just, anybody can do this. We all have this capability. And it's really, finding and awakening your true self, finding a spiritual path that aligns with you. Finding the courage to stand up to your demons, to stand up and face, whatever realities are there. There's things that we can change and things that we can't. But what I always try to teach people is, being on the spiritual path, it doesn't mean your problems magically go away. Doesn't mean we still live in this 3D world, we still live in the matrix, so we have stress, we have family, we have work, we have
just daily living. Your car stops working or something. So
how
you deal with it.
You're gonna have good days and bad days still, but how I deal with my problems now and stress is like with grace, is with patience.
I love that.
With understanding. If somebody comes to hurt me, if someone's trying to trigger me, instead of, well, I can say something back to you, an eye for an eye. Instead, you want to bless that person that is trying to hurt you, because understanding hurt people.
Yeah, that is true. And I think it's, I loved when you're saying with the two wolves, like, which one do you feed? And we all have these voices, right, that are telling us self-serving things or not. And how do you, so when you were starting, and you had a predominance of these heavier energies and thoughts, how did you start to shift towards grace and patience and understanding with yourself?
Well, meditation, study, changing my lifestyle. I was a big partier, hung out with lots of partiers, and you really got to break away from those bad groups or people that you think are your friends. As we awaken, as we evolve, you're going to realize who your true friends are. And even sometimes you have family members that are really toxic, that really can trigger you or bring you down, and we have to learn to set boundaries with them. But truly, I dedicated myself to, it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's what I say. So it doesn't happen overnight. It's these small changes over time of looking back, and one day then you look back and you're like, wow, like the shift occurred.
And it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It does not happen overnight. And it's like, we're all work in progress. I will still say I am still a work in progress.
Likewise.
And I am humbled. Often I had, just the other day, one of my favorite rings, I ended up getting mad at my husband, and it really was not a big deal. It's wearing retrograde is what I'm accrediting it to. That I got a little emotional and I got really upset and aggressive with him, and then later that day I thought my gem fell, one of my favorite rings, the gem fell out, and that was my karma. I got instant karma, and I'm like, wow, okay, universe, I get it. And I already knew I messed up, but and the reverse happens all the time, that I'm getting blessed in these things out of nowhere, great things, good things happening to me because in general, that's what I'm doing, is putting good out there.
Yeah.
Because with the law of attraction, what you give is what you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we start if we're, going through life and we're maybe on autopilot a little bit?
Like a lot of people.
Yeah, and how do we start to take note of